How would you feel about a ban of how are you today questions on the sub? If we banned all the stupid reposts there'd be nothing left. Edit. This unhelpful chiz post is now one of my top 10 Reddit comments. Gender of Reddit. What can make a gender incredibly attractive / unattractive to you? Please. I'm so lonely. I'd prefer a ban of how would you feel about questions which are thinly veiled leading questions. Or editors who do insert specific douche behavior. Why? Questions that will obviously never get any legitimate responses, or those who do respond will be downvoted to hell and disappear into the negative karma void. Sure, but let's also ban the how would you feel about insert something most people agree with questions, such as yours. I'm agree. How about a ban on the 5 most asked questions on Reddit? Or a ban on how would you feel questions? Duck it. Let's just ban /r/AskReddit. Every other ducking week. WHATSTE best no NSE zoo alpha LNG ever? How would you feel about a ban of how would you feel questions on this sub? How do you feel about how op feels about you asking how they feel about banning how do you feel questions? I would feel very f***king good about that. There is a glut of such inane questions on this sub, and any sort of curb on such pointless questions would be a good thing in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. From the sub sidebar /r/AskReddit is a place to ask and answer thought-provoking questions. I don't think how are you today clarifies as a thought-provoking question. The only thought that it provokes is of me wanting to bash my head on my keyboard repeatedly lol. Along with the daily question what's the meaning behind your username? So played out. Is this a trick question? Asking us how we feel about eliminating a question that is essentially how do you feel? I use the how would you feel questions to destroy the how would you feel questions. Somebody is about to get the joke about how do you feel posts. In case nobody else mentions it, this sub banned how do you feel posts. It's very ironic that this question uses a banned form and is asking about banning a type of question. If you're encountering a weird downvote pattern to replies, this is why. But to answer your question, the sub's purpose is to ask thought-provoking questions. I rarely see those here anyway, but it's nice when they do. I'm not sure banning the inane is the way to go. The problem is people upvoting the drivel all the time, and there's probably just no practical solution to that. I love your roundabout way of affirming this sub is ducking chise. Because that, sir, is the crux. I'd like it. Imo people ask it because they're hoping it gets karma. Would you do insert simple mundane activity for $74,506,394,964? Why or why not? I would be against a ban because Reddit should be self-regulating. If it's not interesting enough, people shouldn't comment or upvote. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Either way, if I see a bad post, I usually just scroll on by. I broke my own rule for this post, and lots of others probably do the same, so disregard this comment. Or don't. I agree with you in principle, but in practice I've found that anything that enables stupid karma farming will continue on Reddit. I'd rather ban the what's your favorite video game, but phrased in a different way. Your most memorable video game experience. There's a subreddit that exists for that kind of thing now. /r/how was today. Actually pretty chill place. You just make a write-up about your day and people can comment on it. Good bit of positivity floating around there these days, what with the pandemic and all. I remember when that sub was born. Still sub there to this day. I'd prefer a ban on your usernames questions. Generalize that to a ban on hypothetical questions based on some arbitrary or random thing. The last thing you googled is how you die. What kills? You are offered $10,000,000 to eat the last thing you photographed in its entirety. Do you accept? Why or why not? The thing right in front of you is your religion. What is your religion? You now have to fight the last thing you googled. The object to your left is your weapon, and the object to your right is your defense. The first number you can think of is how much HP you have. How screwed are? The square object to your left is edible. What are you eating? The last female you talked to is now your girlfriend. How screwed are? What I want to ban is questions that are targeted at a very narrow group of people like lawyers or doctors or people who married Karens. All the comments are just like I'm not an ex, but I once heard a story. I've never understood this complaint. They're all stories. It's not like the ones from the self-proclaimed actual lawyers / doctors / people married to Karens are actually any more credible. They're just fun to read. Am I on Reddit for a different reason than most people? Every time I scroll my feed, I see at least 1 to 2 threads about explain your username, or if your username was this or that, what would happen / what would you do? Every single time. I'll give the answer I'll always give to these posts. I'd rather have a ban on how would you feel about banning X questions. No different because nobody cares, obviously. It's just karma farming. They don't actually care. Does anyone ever lol? I don't know. On another note, how are you today? Oh, thanks for your opinion. I'm great. And you? I don't see a need to ban these. I mean, who else am I going to anonymously spill all of my anxiety and life failings to? My parents? Duck that. I mean, I see nothing wrong with checking in on your fellow Redditor. At least someone cares enough to ask. True, but we know that 99% of the time it's blatant karma whoring, and the op doesn't actually care. Like, you can post anything on this sub, and that's your most creative question? I'd rather ban your type of question than one that gets people discussing what happens in their day-to-day. Right now, for a lot of people, this is one of the closest things they'll get to socializing. I want a ban on this in life. I have emburied myself into my mid-30s by honestly answering this and letting strangers know about my gastrointestinal discomfort. But online questions like this are clearly not greetings and reaffirms it's a literal question. No more asking people how they are doing both literally and as a greeting. Grunt nod to acknowledge people's existence and then move on. Oh. Feel with your fingers. Need it. Just let people enjoy things. If people want to make simple posts and you don't want to read them because they irritate you or you've seen them before, don't open the thread. I've never seen one. I think people who feel lonely or sad could sort of feel cared for by a stranger asking them how they feel, and they can vent if they have something on their mind, could help them. Not now. It's an important question during a pandemic. It's nice for people to be able to answer it here, jokingly or not, in case they are not being asked elsewhere, or they can't be true in their answer in different contexts. Thanks. Not now. You are right. And why should they be banned? All I see is questions that are genuinely checking in on people, possibly helping them in some way. It's a small thing, but it can really lift a person's spirit. How about, how do you feel yesterday? How good? I don't think banning any question is in the spirit of this sub. Don't. People enjoy that, and it's harmless. Some people don't have any other way of connecting to others than to ask banal and redundant questions. This should be a place for them too. Come on, Reddit. How are you? So sweet of you to ask. I'm coping, but I could do with a hug and maybe a caring kiss on the forehead. How are you doing? I wouldn't even notice. As a kind of new Reddit user, I still have a hard time to understand the censure around here. I can understand spam, but there's always something wrong with regular questions. This is kind of annoying. Yes please. I actually kinda like those questions, especially right now with everyone on lockdown. It's nice to see how others are doing and scream into the void of credit if need be. How about also banning, if someone offered you amount of money but you had to do thing, would you do it? Your question sucks. Everybody is thinking it, and I'm saying it. This seems like a cry for attention. Are you feeling okay? I believe it'd be censorious. Let the people have their say. Let dumb questions rise to the top if they must. Let smart question rise to the top if they must. Some of us don't have anyone in real life to ask us this. We may leave it. I'm rather confused by this question, as I haven't seen any of the questions. This question is asking how do we feel if they were banned. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't have to answer it. Do you like this post? I think adding more constraints makes it a worse sub, rather than a better one. This is how I look at it too. Just look in this very question and there are a dozen different questions that people want banned. To me it seems like the issue is more around how we can encourage others to post and upvote better questions, rather than make it more restrictive. This kind of post is just as bad as the "How are you today" posts. I propose we ban all questions. Instead, you must post an answer and then people have to respond with a question. I want a ban on "How would you feel" posts. I think it's a problem that will largely solve itself after the pandemic is over. Though to prevent a flood of 10 or 20 or 50 people trying it in the same day, maybe it should be a weekly or every couple day mega thread instead. Given current global conditions, it's a heartwarming show of support for one another. I like them if the op actually responds. I say leave them. I'm fine, thank you. Why would we? A part of Reddit would be asking provoking and childish questions, plus would it really make a difference? What would you do if there were no rhetorical questions? How would you feel about the ban of the "How would you feel about the ban of the "How would you feel about" questions on this sub? I like that idea, cause that's literally what r/casual conversation is for. Please. Dumb karma farming. And every time it is asked it gets awards from idiots. I don't even like that question in real life. I mean, I don't see the point of a ban. If you don't like it, don't comment, maybe downvote. Banning, however, I think, is dumb. People come on the internet to say things they never say in the real world because they know they get ridiculed. People who get cheated on, male rape victims, female rape victims, people falsely accused of rape, suicide sufferers, suicide survivors, veterans, people who feel unloved, people who have lost people, and other people of every kind. People come here to get away from a world that mocks anyone who has a problem. Banning these types of posts may keep people from getting help, feeling better, or cause them to give in to their own bad ideas. It is absolutely a bad idea. Let the people decide what to ask. Stop putting limits on personal expressions. We have a voting system for a reason. How about a ban on bans? Why is it bad to check up on a person? No op, go away and stop chisting on people trying to be nice. Your question is much more useless, biased, and not conducive to interesting replies. Am I the only that's okay with them? I just want to know how people are doing. T. How about no? As much as I hate seeing the same 5 or 6 questions asked on r/AskReddit, I don't think we should start censoring those questions. Instead, leave it up to us to ignore these questions if they are a nuisance. I respect the post, but I think it's a great way for people to write what they're feeling inside. It's been proven writing feelings improve mental health, and you never know who it could save by that simple question. This community has shown amazing compassion and love for one another, and I think that's what Reddit's all about. I vote keep it. I think they are fine tbh. It allows you to check in on people and to vent about things. It also allows you to share the positive things in a life. Personally, I disagree with doing it, because sometimes people have had a bad day and decided to go comment on Reddit posts that ask questions, hence r/AskReddit. And when people ask the question, it might make their day that someone cares. So, let's not ban it please, because sometimes it's a small question that can make a big difference. It's called AskReddit. Let PR ask Reddit. I disagree with the ban on this question. However, I'm only talking about this question specifically, not all the other questions people are mentioning. IDKY people are mentioning all these other questions when not clearly stated. How are you today? My reasoning for this is because sometimes people just need someone to vent to, or to share something exciting with, or something like that. A lot of people don't have anyone to share these things with, and Reddit is a person. I know that's the case for me, and I know I'm not the only one. This subreddit already has so many strict rules, why add another? Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.